Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. I am Sefian FM, and today we're taking a look at a tactic called the La Voila, or FMS Danne. It is from someone named Daniel Nielsen of FM Sweden. At least that's the big picture right there when you look at the Steam workshop where I got this from. The whole thing looks like it is in Swedish, but when I translate it, the description says, "Welcome to download this tactic that Tobias, Hassan, and I have had many fun hours with. A 4-3-1-2 formation without wingers. I usually change individual information on fullbacks, Mazzala, and OMC according to what fits with player material. I also usually change roles on OMC again, according to player material. Feel free to share your successes or setbacks." So there is some information. There is one comment in there that looks like it is probably also in Swedish, but we're going to check this out. As you can see, started out with a sweeper keeper in support, wingbacks in support on the left and right, central defender on the left, a ball-playing defender on the right in defend, box-to-box in support, deep next to a deep-line playmaker in support, next to a Mazzala in support, in front of them an advanced playmaker in attack, and then two advanced forwards in attack up front. Positive mentality, in possession, attacking width is fairly wide, play out of defense, passing directness is slightly shorter, tempo is slightly higher, final third mix crosses and work the ball into the box. In transition, counter press, counter, take short kicks and distribute to the center backs. And out of possession, a mid-block line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, stay on feet, and trap inside. How did it do for our three teams of Tottenham, Wolves, and Newcastle? I would say actually below average, sadly, even though, again, a lot of the times I will say all these tactics that I do, they're all simmed. I've done nothing except I've given all the instructions to my assistant coaches and all of them to deal with while I just sim throughout the entire season. But it also depends on how the other teams do. As you can see, Tottenham in 8th place, but with 56 points. That is a really low tally for me in what I usually see. 10th place in Newcastle with 50 points. Wolves in 15th with 42, only 4 points above relegation. So overall, I don't think this did very well at all in my sim. Schedule-wise, it's, pretty spotty for Tottenham. You got 3 wins and 2 losses in August. You do continue on in everything. Carabao Cup third round, you do lose out right before the first half of the season ends. But Man City, what are you going to do? 1-2 loss. That's actually not a bad loss. FA Cup third round, you're out against Everton. That's not the greatest. And Champions League, you're out against Inter in the quarterfinals. But you have a fantastic May to finish it out. Newcastle having a much worse time, it looks like, right at the start. You do lose at Fulham. Carabao Cup second round, 1-2. FA Cup third round against MK Dons, 0-3. That's a thrashing. And then, you got some wins here and there, but overall just incredibly spotty. And Wolves definitely don't expect much here. You do continue on in the Carabao Cup against Everton, funny enough. 3 wins in a row. That's pretty nice for, where you ended up at least. Carabao Cup fourth round is where you drop out. Manchester United, followed up by a 0-6 drubbing against Manchester United in the Prem. That's FM doing its FM stuff, but you are getting kicked to the curb. FA Cup quarters where you lose out against Liverpool 0-3, and that is really awful end of the season. Transfer wise for Tottenham, you do sell on Davinson Sanchez to Fiorentina for 14 million. You are bringing a lot of players. Luis Almeida from Benfica, Shutalo from Dynamo, Donny van de Beek, Rafael Rodriguez from Benfica, Bikian again from Juve, Shakir from Trabzonspor. So you are spending some money. Newcastle not getting rid of anyone except on loans, but they do bring in Andrew Fisher from Swansea for 400k, Ronnie Edwards, Tony Weston, Liam Morrison from Bayern 2, and Douglas Santos from Zenit. Not quite spending as much as Tottenham, but they're dishing out some cash here and there. Wolves only able to sell Daniel Podence to Verona and Diego Costa for a whopping 5.3 million total. So clearly they've got no money to spend. So they're bringing in Chiquinho and Pereira from Leicester on loan. It's standard Wolves practice. So with that, how did the squads look? Bentancur, Basuma, and Kulusevski all in the top appearances. Where's Kane? Kane right below. Goals-wise, 33 for Kane, 27 for Son, and Kulusevski with 11. It would be nice to spread out some more, but, clearly, at 56 points, yeah, you're not getting a lot. Assists-wise, 12, 12, and 11 for Kane, Bentancur, and Kulusevski. And average rating, you do have a fair amount of players. 7.44 for Kane is a really top mark for him. He's definitely not usually up there. 7.15 for Perisic, and Son was 7.13. Not too bad overall, but still. really would like some more points in that table. Newcastle squad, Almiron, Nick Pope, and Trippier with 40, 40, and 39 appearances as the tops. Goals-wise, Isaac with only, 22, not too bad. He's definitely gotten better. 21 for Wilson, Almiron with 13. So again, not really spreading too much love around. But assist-wise, Isaac with 10, 8 and 8 for Willock and Trippier. And then average rating, a lot less. 7.42, though, for Isaac. Another fantastic season for him, unfortunately for Newcastle. But Callum Wilson was 7.18. Joe Willock was 7.11. And then we come to Wolves. Jose Sa, Nunez, and Collins, all with appearances. 45, 44, and 43 there. Goals-wise, Cunha with 31. There you go. 15 for Neto. Sarabia with 14. So overall, that's actually not too bad for them. Assist-wise, Sarabia with 13. 11s for Cunha and Moutinho. Not bad. I mean, average, kind of, on the mark. 7.43 for Cunha. 7.14 for Sarabia. Neto with 7.06. More players in the green than Newcastle did, but I mean, wow, the points. I don't understand how they got so few points. It just doesn't make sense to me. Data hub for Tottenham, both good in defense and attack. And as you can see, I mean, clearly nowhere near the attacking numbers that we usually see. Defensively, wow, fouls per game and blocks per game are insane. Everything else, I mean, you got interceptions per game is nice. Doing more defensive work, it seems to me, than doing attacking work, which is probably why they ended up so low. As I always say in these tactics in FM23, if the better you are in attack, the better you're going to be in the table. Even if you're not as good in defense, the better in defense you are than in attack, not so much, sadly. Newcastle pretty much showing similar instances. A couple, non-penalty expected goals per game is definitely higher. So they've done some better jobs here and there, and not so much in other areas. And then if we look at Wolves, pretty much the same thing. Although good defensively, only okay in attack. And as you can see, even less numbers here for Wolves. So I'm going to skip through a lot of the Premier League stats simply because a lot of these tactics, our three teams just don't get there. Most goals you do have 74 down to 72, so a nice smattering there in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Well, 4th, 5th, and 5th. But a lot of these others, they're just not here. I mean, you've got most possession there, but really nothing much. Best pass completion, Tottenham is in there. Most shots for you do have Newcastle and Tottenham there, which is nice to see. And then most points per game, as you would expect. Individual stats for the Premier League. Most goals you do have Kane, Cunha, Isaac, and Wilson. So that is fantastic to see. Even though you're not getting a lot of great attacking numbers, having 4 players in the tops in goals is pretty nice. Most assists, Sarabia up there with 11, which is great. Kulusevski, Kane, and Isaac, not too bad. Player of the Match awards. 9 and 7 are on the high side of average for Kane and Cunha. Passing completion, you got Longley and Schär and Romero in there. That's nice to see. Some nice new names every now and again. Most dribbles made, no. Fewest conceded, you got Chuck here, but nobody for most shutouts. Tackles 1, Holzberg right at the tops with 99. Looks pretty nice. Most key passes, Trippier. Sarabia not in the list though this time. And most shots, you got a couple players as well. But overall, this tactic, I mean, again, in our sim that we just did, we didn't do anything individually. It didn't work all that well. Clearly, if you did your own shouts in matches, your own transfers, training, everything that you can do on your own, clearly, I think you could do a little bit better than, you could probably do a lot better than 56 points. It might be hard to get to 90 points, but again, there's such a split between the top 4 or the top 3 and everyone else. I'm sure you can raise that ranks at least a bit. Tottenham in 8th place, 56 points is really not a good spot for them to be in. But that is it for me, Seffian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.